We all know our planet has a massive plastic problem, right? But this isn't a story about doom and gloom. Actually, it's a story about human ingenuity. We're going to take a look at some of the incredible new technologies being developed to fight plastic pollution and see how innovators are turning this global crisis into one of the greatest design challenges of our time.
So, to really get a handle on the scale of this thing, we have to start with this number 8 million. That's how many metric tons of plastic we think enter our oceans every single year. It's a number so big, it's almost impossible to even picture.
So, how do you make that number real? Well, the CT Engineering Group came up with a pretty powerful way to think about it. Imagine a full garbage truck backing up to the ocean and dumping its entire load of plastic right into the water. Now imagine that happening every single minute of every single day. That's what we're really up against.
Yeah, that image, it's a lot. And it's so easy to feel completely overwhelmed by it. But where some of us see an impossible problem, innovators see a design challenge. And right now, human ingenuity is seriously stepping up to meet this plastic tide head on.
Okay, so before we jump into all the amazing solutions, it's really important to understand the problem itself. Let's just quickly trace the journey of all this plastic so we can see where the best places to step in really are. Most of the plastic in the ocean doesn't actually start there. It begins its journey way inland. It finds its way into our rivers, and those rivers act like massive conveyor belts, carrying it straight out to sea. And once it's there, it doesn't just go away. Over hundreds of years, it breaks down into these tiny little bits called microplastics, which get into the entire food chain and cause so much harm to marine life.
Right, so if the rivers are the main highway for plastic heading to the ocean, well, that seems like the perfect place to stop it, doesn't it? So let's look at the technologies designed to do just that, to catch it upstream before it even has a chance to reach the open sea. And what an arsenal it is. I mean, you've got everything from these giant, high-tech, solar-powered barges like the Interceptor to the, honestly, kind of goofy-looking but awesome Mr. Trash Wheel in Baltimore. Then there are smart systems like Azure that use AI to figure out what kind of plastic it's collecting. And you've also got beautifully simple things like the litter booms in South Africa. It just goes to show there's no single magic bullet here, but a whole toolkit of ideas for different situations. And some of the most powerful ideas are the ones that work with nature. The Great Bubble Barrier is just genius. So picture this. They lay a pipe with holes in it on the bottom of a river. Then they pump air through it, and it creates this curtain of bubbles. Fish can swim right through it, boats can go right over it, but the current from the bubbles pushes all the floating plastic over to the side where it can be collected. A trial showed it stopped 86% of the waste. How cool is that? And this is where things get really, really smart. It's not just about grabbing trash anymore. It's about being predictive. Projects like Repara are using AI and machine learning to analyze data, which lets the system become autonomous. It can actually predict problems and make decisions on its own to figure out the best way to capture waste. Okay, so catching all this plastic is one thing, but then what do you do with it? That's the second half of the problem, and believe me, it's where another technological revolution is happening. For the longest time, we've relied on what's called mechanical recycling. You basically just chop up plastic, wash it, melt it, and turn it into something new. And it works, but you often end up with a lower quality material. It's a process called downcycling. But the new frontier, that's chemical recycling. And this is a whole different ballgame. Instead of just melting it, you're breaking the plastic all the way back down to its original molecules. Now, the real game changer with chemical recycling is that it can handle messy, real-world trash. Mechanical recycling needs really clean, sorted plastic. But chemical recycling, it can take mixed plastics, even dirty ones that would normally just end up in a landfill. And the stuff it makes, high-quality plastic that's basically good as new. It fills this massive gap in our current system, and that could totally change the economics of recycling. Seriously, some of these methods sound like they're straight out of science fiction. Get this, cold plasma pyrolysis. In simple terms, scientists are using an energized gas, what's sometimes called the fourth state of matter, to break down common plastics, like milk jugs. And the outputs are just incredible. They're not just getting the ingredients to make brand new plastic, they're also creating clean-burning hydrogen fuel. So you're turning one waste product into two valuable resources. But what about the plastic that we can't even see? The trillions of tiny fragments that have already broken down. Well, that's the microplastic challenge, and it requires a completely new way of thinking. Microplastics? I mean, they're literally everywhere.
These tiny little pieces of plastic have worked their way into every single corner of our planet, from the deepest parts of the ocean right into our own bodies. Filtering them out is this huge technical challenge, just because they're so incredibly small and so widespread. So, to solve a problem on a nanoscale, you might need a nanoscale solution, and that's where graphene comes in. It's this revolutionary material that's just a single layer of carbon atoms thick. Because of its unique structure, it has the potential to be the ultimate sieve, filtering out even the tiniest microplastic particles from water. This could be an absolute game changer for water treatment. And back on a scale we can actually see, you have these brilliant inventions like the Hula One. It's basically a giant, super smart vacuum cleaner for beaches. It sucks up sand, uses water to separate the light plastic bits from the heavy sand, and then spits the clean sand right back out onto the beach. It's a real, tangible way to clean up our environment, one patch of sand at a time. Okay, so we've got tech to catch plastic, tech to recycle it, and even tech to filter out the microscopic stuff. So what's the end game here? How do we put all these pieces together for a solution that actually lasts? It all comes down to this one big idea: building a circular economy. It's a simple but really profound concept. What if there was no such thing as waste? In this model, every product at the end of its life is just a resource for the next one. We move from our old take, make, waste system to a circular one of recover, remake, and reuse. And the cool thing is, we can already see this starting to happen. There are 4 big trends pushing us in this direction. First is the kind of technological innovation we've been talking about, but that's combined with smarter packaging design, so things are built to be recycled from day one. Policy is also catching up, putting more responsibility on the companies that make the stuff, and a whole new industry of specialized recyclers is popping up to handle the tricky materials. From bubble barriers in rivers to cold plasma that turns trash into fuel, technology is showing us a pathway out of this plastic crisis. It's proving what is truly possible when we stop seeing this as just a mess and start seeing it as a design challenge to be solved. The tools are being built. The only question left is, are we ready to use them and finally close the loop?